Eddie George, in his final year as an NFL player, and boy, he was an awfully good one, playing for Houston, was a Dallas Cowboy. That apparently has earned no loyalty between Eddie and the Cowboys. Mike Fisher reporting from Frisco, home of the Dallas Cowboys here at the Star. The lightning rod that is Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott has done it again. This time it's the former running back Eddie George offering his rip job belief that Dak is the weakness on the America's team roster. Now, we've heard some awfully dumb people say this. Here's Eddie George saying this. We've heard some uninformed people saying this. Here's Eddie George saying this. As far as quarterback play, Eddie says, he's the problem. Dak is the Achilles heel of the Cowboys via a video visit with the 33rd team. George, 96 to 2003, terrific running back in Houston, finished his time here in 2004. He was kind of looking back on the Cowboys' loss to the Titans, another team that he kind of has ties with, obviously, when he pulled out about as many negative platitudes as he could think of in reviewing the work of Prescott. Dak is the problem, ding. The Achilles heel, ding. He keeps Dallas from being elite, ding. If the Cowboys don't advance in the playoffs, it'll be because of Dak Prescott, ding. Now, Prescott against Tennessee, once again, found himself in the middle of a turnover-prone offense, some of it his fault. He ended up that game 29-41, 282 yards, 2 touchdown passes, but had 3 turnovers, including a bad interception and then another volleyball interception as well. He now leads the NFL with 14 interceptions. I've seen some people try to protect Dak here by saying, other teams have turnovers too. That's not the point. Dak Prescott, and other teams have more turnovers than 14. Yeah, but they don't have more interceptions than 14. And so the fair framing of Dak Prescott and his interceptions is that this is a Cowboy problem. It's not just a quarterback problem. It's also a volleyball problem for the receiver room and the tight ends too. Dak insists that he's putting it all aside, moving forward. You got to have a short-term memory, he says, when you play this position. He says, I take pride in being able to do that, moving on. But you're not trying to have adversity or cause that adversary, good or bad. Either way, though, I'm on to the next play. And away we go to Washington. But critics like George, who I think is also the head coach at Tennessee State, he's not moving on. He says Dallas should be humming on offense, not making a lot of mistakes. And he saw Dak make a lot of forced throws. A fair evaluation, and we talk about this a lot around here on the Fish Report and at CowboysSI.com. If you don't look at the Cowboys through a microscope, but rather through a wide-angled lens, you'll see Josh Allen makes mistakes, right? Patrick Mahomes makes mistakes. The team that makes the fewest mistakes like this is going to advance in the playoffs. That's a simple fact. The team that has a defense to overcome the mistakes that are made on offense also can advance. The Cowboys can say they have that. Eddie George, in what I think is a more reasonable remark than just throwing out negative platitudes, says less is more when it comes to Dak. Have him throw the ball 25 times or fewer. Run the football. Control the clock. Maybe. Of course, we already know that's not what Mike McCarthy is preaching here. Keep firing is his 2 key words. So Eddie George and others have a lot of negative platitudes about Dak Prescott. Mike McCarthy has 1 positive platitude: keep firing. And game plan-wise, the Cowboys really do think, along with defense and along with running the football, that balancing all 3 of those are a way to not only beat Washington this week. Cowboys are big favorites over a Washington team now that is going to be changing quarterbacks and talking about firing its coach and the whole thing, and then more importantly, in the playoffs. Somebody the other day was saying, if Dak has 3 turnovers in the first half, they're not going to win a playoff game. No kidding, Sherlock. That's also true of Mahomes and Allen and all the rest. If you have 3 turnovers in the first half of a playoff game, you're probably going to lose. So yes, Cowboys Nation, let's not do that. Fish out.